No, I am free.
Oh, spot on, man. Yeah, fuck. What started the podcast?
All right.
Um, Coaching for a long time. In gyms, in leisure centers, you name it, fucking probably coached there, in a little patch of grass between my old rugby pitches. Just one of those, like, kind of give me £1.50 for 90 minutes worth of a session, which is about $2. Back in the day, it was roughly around $2, maybe 250,
Yeah.
maybe, whatever. Um,
Humble beginnings.
Humble beginnings, bro, but there's only so many times you can hear someone say they're struggling mentally that before you start doing something about it, right?
Yeah.
And we teach fitness at the end of the day. We're not the smartest of individuals. We like to pick things up and put them back down. It's like that's quite primal when you think about it. But everybody expressing some mental struggles, you're like, oh well, what do I do? How am I supposed to help these people? So, again, we get paid to talk shit. So I just started talking to them, and it seemed like they liked it and it helped them, and they come back. And over the years, it kind of just red flagged in my head. I was like, wow, there's too many individuals coming to me with this shit. And I nicknamed him the last one. I went to go see him when I went home. I hadn't been home in like three years, and I went to go see him. Good mate of mine, and basically he came to me with a similar issue, and yeah, I was like, well, fuck this, I got to do something about it. And
Yeah.
just noticed my camera is absolutely strobe lighting, mate. But hey,
No,
you
you're
get a
good.
nice little pretty picture of like two heads.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh well,
Hey,
Jesus.
hopefully this podcast will get enough streams that you can buy a new camera.
Yeah, I'm like still on the 40-minute limit on Zoom, still on my
Yeah.
integrated camera in my laptop, mate. Humble beginnings, man. We're still there.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I just bought a mic and started talking shit.
Awesome. Yeah, man, I totally agree. Like, I mean, training people, I've become, I'm a full-time powerlifting coach, and I train general fitness at a gym locally and here in Franklin, Indiana. And, I've noticed that like you're a mentor, you make an impact on people's lives. People count on you, um, endless day to day. And I totally can agree with you there. And my services have become so much more than I'm almost like a therapist to a lot of people in many different ways. And when I'm in the gym, like I preach these guys like, hey, like whatever you got going on, notice that like everyone else around you, we all have stuff going on, but this is the place to be. We can set that sort of stuff aside and figure it out together some other time. But here we're serious. And we're gonna get good work done. But like, whatever's going on at home or at work, like don't bring that to your paradise. This is where people come to just enjoy themselves and lift heavy weight, hit PRs and progress during doing something. So that's I'm a huge environment guy. Ever since I was in high school or college, like being on powerlifting teams, I was on scholarship in Nebraska for powerlifting, and we were huge on environment all the time, and that's what made or break a lot of teams. And I live by it.
100%, man. I think environment breeds people. It either leads them down a good path or the not so good path, right? We shall
Right.
say. What's the old saying of show me the five people you spend the most time with, and I'll show you your future.
Yep. Yep.
I like to nickname whenever I coach teams or teens, right? Whether it's a sport or whether it's that weird age group between 12 and 18 where they like to do everything that they shouldn't be doing, right?
Yeah.
And let's be honest, we probably did the same. I know I certainly
Absolutely.
did. I
Yeah.
like to nickname the gym the Lion's Den, right? And you kind of come in and it's like, well, you're surrounded by savages, right? And the idea is we're trying to lead each other down the right path here. Where there's 15 people in the room, there's 15 leaders. It's not just me. You're not coming in. This is not a
Absolutely.
dictatorial, authoritative measure. It's like this is the environment, the four walls,
Yeah.
and let's we've all got accountability to be able to nurse that. and create that
Yeah.
environment.
Yeah. I've always liked to be that person. You know, that saying you said, the 5 people, show me your friends, I'll show you your future. You know, I'm bringing those people they're coming with me.
Oh, 100%.
You're coming with me. I'm not letting you go down that path. Whatever path you're going down, you know, I don't care if you pay me 5, 10, 15, $50 an hour. I'm gonna give you my all, man.
Mm.
And you're coming with me because life's way too damn short
Mm-hmm.
to be pissed off at the world all the time and not progressing in multiple areas of your life. And let alone just come to the gym like that, and that's where I see I do most of my communication with a lot of people every single day in the gym. I'm in, 5, 6, sometimes 8 hours a day. And I bring it, man. I got to bring the intensity, got to bring the excitement, the positivity, everything. Um, because that makes a huge impact on people's lives. When everyone you have the first 10, 15 minutes of your day with somebody else and it's good, like that makes such a huge impact on the rest of your day. So in,
100% it
in
does.
whatever you took from that, like you get so high that like you can't come down from that. So that's my goal for everybody is to take, not everything's perfect, not everything's black and white either, but you know, we can take what we have and enjoy it and really appreciate every single moment, even the lows,
Mm.
take from it, take the positives from it because there's so much so much to look forward to. So I've had a lot of suicides in my life, family members, friends, and stuff like that. Too many, one too many, and that made a huge like introspective part of my life. And I was like, you know, I got a gift, and a lot of people have a gift, and like it needs to be heard, and people need to be heard. So props to you for starting a podcast like this.
Uh, Bro, it's my privilege to be able to talk to individuals like yourself, man. Like it takes balls to be honest. I'm one of those dumb blondes that was just gonna say his mind, whether it's gonna piss you off or not. Maybe it's because I'm English, maybe because it's you're not. But
Yeah,
people coming on and being honest with me, I think is the biggest compliment somebody could ever give me. Like fuck everything else. If you're just gonna look me in the eye and be like, okay, man, like this is kind of how it is. I'm like, wow, man, like that's you just showed balls right there. You know what I mean? And
yeah, and
and
you can appreciate it. Certain individuals can appreciate it, and if you're not coming from a hard place, and you're not meaning any harm, like I'm hard on my guys too. Like some days I'm like, dude, the fuck are you doing? And I'll pull them to the side. I'm like, what's going on? Are you not communicating with me? Like I'm showing hard love here because I'm passionate. I care about you guys. I care about your progress. I care about your health. I care about your life. It's not just what we do here in the gym. It's like, what's going on? Are we communicating healthily? Are I've had many instances where people have things going on with miscommunication. I mean, that's like the root of a lot of problems, even in
yeah, yeah.
relationships with, spouses or just friends is communication. No one communicates anymore.
Mm.
And I don't know if it's like a new generation or if it's always been that way or if it's just gotten worse, but like no one, people, I see people get divorced. They talk to me like, I'm getting married in July and they're like, what's the number one thing in your relationship that keeps it going? I'm like, dude, there's not a wall between me and my woman. There's not a wall between me and my friends, my brothers and my sisters. Like we're all on the same page here. I know what I want. I know what you want and vice versa. And we're going to make this happen. If you're not on
100%.
board, then like, okay, we can part ways here because we all got a mission. We all want to do things. We all have goals. But how are we going to make this work? Like you said, it's 4 walls, lion's den, man.
Mm.
So 100%.
I think it's people's fear of the unknown and changing.
Yeah, and
It's
that's what
like
anxiety is, right?
100%.
Yeah, it's trying to think of things that haven't even happened yet, and it's unknown, and you're just creating these fallacies in your head. Oh, does he really like me, or did he just not text me because he had something going on that day? Like what? Like no, just talk to me, call me,
Yeah.
say hey, what's up? Bang, worries are gone. So
100%. I say this to everybody. I was like, I don't really give a fuck what you do to me. Just don't lie.
yeah,
Like I
yeah,
really don't. Let's
communicate.
just have it on the table, and like sometimes you got to allow the conversation to hit the roof. And I don't mean shouting at each other. I mean, it's just express some serious passion, right? And say some irrational thoughts that you're feeling.
Hmm.
And be
Because you're
like,
laying it on the table, because you
because
can
you're
pick that up and you
on it.
can be like, all right, so let's flesh this out, right? Absolutely. I'm right there with you. And that's how relationships are, dude. It's tough love sometimes because you're gonna say stuff and shit you don't want to say, but ultimately, like they want to hear that.
Mm.
Because if they come from a good place and you come from a good place, you're both, whether one's confused or the other's confused, if you understand, like, with my girl, like, hey, like I love you, but like this is bothering me.
Mm-hmm.
And she may not want to hear that, but she appreciates that I'm saying that because we want it fixed and we can fix it and we can move forward from it. That's how everything should be.
100%, man. It's having that hard conversation. You know,
Yep.
you've got to have the hard conversation, whether it's your parents, your partner, your frigging athletes. You have to sit them down and be like, listen, this is it. This is everything. You know, this is my book opened up, and here's all the pages. You know, and if they don't like it, then that's fine. You can just shut that book, put it in your backpack, and piss off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's all right. Like
Yeah.
you've always got that
It,
option. You know, like, but you
yeah.
have to. I think realness and rawness is quite beautiful, and I think people relate to it. You know, especially in our industry, right? Like I see it all the time. I've had some roles where I've had the privilege of coaching coaches, right? And then I've had other roles where I'm underneath. I'm getting coached by coaches, and it's awesome. And I think the best ones I've seen have been the personable ones, right? That I've just been like, hey guys, I got a shit there, you know, like, but we're here, we're queer, and let's get fucking stuck in. You
Yeah.
know, if anything, if I say something that's going to be a little bit left field, please rein me back in. We're only human, you know, and it's just kind of this realness rather than
Yeah.
just like, oh, I'm here with my top button done up. I'm the professional, you're the client. And I'm like, get rid of the word client, man. Like they're just they're a member, they're an athlete, they're a mate, you know, there's somebody
Yeah.
who knows a little less in this room than you.
Yeah.
You walk out
Yep.
of that room, you're gonna know a little less than them in another room. And that's all it is, man. Like
Yep.
just paying you for your
Absolutely.
service.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's servant leadership right there, bro. That's what,
100%.
yeah, that'll take you so far, man. It's taken me so far. And I mean, I've always preached it because, I mean, ever since high school, like we had leadership councils and stuff like that. And we're learning, what's our leaders, are they picked out of the crowd or they just stand out? Naturally, they do stand out, but watch who's speaking out and how they speak out and what they're doing for the team. Are they doing the same things that they're telling you? Are they helping other people all the time? Are they being a servant to you? Are you working for them? You know, it it can become toxic very, very quick.
How did you how did you get to that servant leadership? Was it the environment you brought up around? Was it some role models? Was it faith? Was it innate?
It's a little bit of faith and innate, but just being around, I'm a people lover, dude, and like if you're there to help somebody, right? Like you just think of all the positive qualities of someone who would do that for you, and it's not someone like we see a lot of toxic leaderships out there, and businesses fail and people fail, and it's just what do it's kind of putting yourself in someone else's shoes. I grew up in um in the environment of my mom always teaching me like how would you like to be treated, like
Hmm.
you like if you get hurt, like you don't, if someone hurts you, like you never want to do that to somebody else because you know what it feels like, right? So if you want to lift someone up, you have to put yourself in their shoes and really kind of flesh out what's what's the best scenario here. What can I do for this person without making them feel like I'm a superior, but still walk with them through everything that they go through. And I feel like it's just because I've had good leaders too, and
Hmm.
I've been around really, really good people that maybe not even are titled or labeled as leaders, but I took those qualities and when you walk in a room, you light it up. You're that guy. You're that guy that everyone likes, and for a really good reason. And I just kind of I just have a vision. I think of that. One day I want to own a gym, and I think about how I want everything to go. I want to be a member of that gym. I don't want to be the owner of that gym. I want to be the facilitator of good energy, positivity, being straightforward, and everything that's healthy and communicative. And because it's not just one person that makes the biggest difference. It's everyone, but it does start somewhere. So you have to be a catalyst sometimes. But yeah, that. I mean, that question is very. My answer for that question is very kind of like it's all over the place. It's very vague, but I guess it's just very introspective. I really have to look into the people I'm dealing with, and I guess the biggest thing would just be step in their shoes, and how would you like to be treated by this person, and you can play off people's strengths and weaknesses. Everyone can. I mean, that's the goal of every workplace too. Is you can't have one person, you can't have 10 people with the same skill. Everyone's got to have some weakness, and then the other person can be the opposite of that. That's what makes a good team. So I don't have everything, but I can find people that have everything. Um, as a whole, all these parts and pieces, put them together. So I don't know, it's really just kind of really thinking about how you would like to be treated by someone that you look up to. I'm a lot of people look up to me, and I look up to a lot of my people. And I feel like that's a big difference between a lot of successful and unsuccessful leaders, is that they don't see the difference. If someone says like, hey, I'm like, like class A, like narcissism, like I'm cut from a different cloth. You're different. Like, you're gonna listen to me, and that's it. Like, we're not talking anymore. So like that's dangerous. That's not
Yeah,
someone you should look up to.
I once heard the person that doesn't want the role is probably the one that should get it,
Yeah.
and it was in a context of politics, which is a whole bloody nutshell in itself, right? And it goes over my head, and quite frankly, whatever,
Right.
we just lift weights. Um, but I do believe in it, and I like history, right? And there was in the Roman Empire, there was basically they elected a leader, an emperor for a specific war, right? And when it goes down, they're supposed to give it back to the Senate, right? And then it was kind of more of a democratic sort of system, right? And he
Yeah.
does, and he ends up going back to his farm, right? And it's an ancient, obviously, example of like we should probably give somebody dictatorial power if that is necessary. That doesn't want that role because they're going to do everything they can to resolve it quickly, peacefully,
Yeah.
and then get out, right? And
Yeah.
I think that collaboration of ideas that you were going on about with the people around you, right? The collaborative leadership of we're all got different POVs. We've all got different experiences. We all look different. Great. That's fucking perfect. Bring it all into this table, throw it all into that melting pot. Let's give it a stir and see what comes out. You can't have five versions of me. One is
Yeah.
already too many.
Mhm.
Like another four is not a good idea.
Yeah. Do you know the definition of Sonder?
No, I do not.
So the definition of this is going to change your life. The definition of Sonder is realizing that every single person in this world is going through the same exact position. They're in the same exact position you are. They have their own reality. They have their own people that they go home to. They have their own jobs, their goals, their dreams. It's humility. It's really realizing that everybody else lives their own life. And
Hmm.
when I learned that definition, I knew the definition, but putting a word to it, Sonder, like that made a huge impact on how I view the world. Is that like it's not just about me here. Like, you have to realize that all these other people, when it comes to problems, or like, because that's a big thing that I run into as a leader, of my gym, is like, if I have a problem, right? I I have to realize that other people have their own problems. So I can't bring this. And that's kind of where that stems from in the environment. And I want them to know that too. Like, you have problems, I have problems. How are we going to make this mesh in an environment where we're trying to all better ourselves? And I feel like everyone just realizing that will make a huge impact on um, efficiency in the gym, and what you leave with for that day. I mean, man, you can go on about that, but just humility. We're all the same, dude. Like, Like, no one's perfect. We're gonna get through this, and we can get through it together if you'd like.
Mm.
We're here for it. But and no one's here to harm you. No one's here to hurt you. Um, it's just knowing that you're not alone. Knowing that you're not alone is huge. I mean, humans aren't meant to be alone. We're a mess alone. We need a human interaction. We need to be cared for. We need to care for others. So um, that just brings a lot of comfort to people because, like there's a lot of people out there with anxiety and depression, and there's actually a chemical imbalance in their brain. And the number one thing that I've learned is I have family members with mental disorders as well, and um, you can't belittle someone's problems. And that's a very touchy topic, is because you have to work a way around it that actually connects in their brain in a way that is not belittling them. So like, if I come up to you and I say like, dude, my dog just died. You're like, nah, dude, my grandma just died. Like, you're fine. Like, what does that do for me? I'm coming for you for comfort, and you just shut me down and said my problems are bigger than yours. Like, no, my problems aren't any bigger than yours. It's how are we going to deal with them? How can I help you today? You know, what can I do for you, bro? And then maybe like, hey, I got something too. And, my grandma just died. And then, that just kind of builds off each other. And then it's a net positive. It's not, I'm shutting you down, like ignoring your problem. And people with anxiety and depression, like they can physically, like mentally, they cannot help their anxiety and depression. Like, it's just there. It's a chemical imbalance. Um, it's just a mechanism that they can't change. And when you try to shut people down, like, well, you don't try to shut people, when you shut people down like that, maybe inherently, purposefully or not, that doesn't do anything for them. So like a lot of people that I've trained before, or people that I care for, family member wise or friends, I'm like, what can I do to help you today? Just can I know one thing that I've told people is like, hey, I'm here for you, and you live a good life. You know, look around you. Look at these people. Like, you have a roof over your head. You're well fed. You got people that care for you. Um, just kind of magnituding this like huge like positive bubble, because that's what they need to see. You don't need to highlight their problem, and you don't need to say that like, hey, I got something else that it could be worse. Saying it could be worse is terrible. Like, that doesn't help anybody. Just making them realize the positives in their life, and maybe the positive of the situation and an outlook, um, helps a lot. I had a conversation with one of my good friends and athletes yesterday at a Mexican restaurant, and he goes, Shane, like that, what you said to me was powerful. And he almost started crying because he was dealing
Mm.
bouts of depression for a long time, dude. I've been training for almost 2 years, and I've seen him go through all his valleys and all his hills and his mountains, all these lows and highs. And I was like, dude, since the new year with all these new beginnings, like, you've been a new person. And like, you know, I'm gonna be honest with you, bro, it's been so hard to deal with everything going on, but um it's worth it. Like, you're worth it to me. And you're a good friend of mine, and I want you to know that like I'm so happy that I stuck it through with you. And I'm so happy for you and everything that's going on right now that's positive in your life, and highlighting that stuff. And then he went out and told me like, like, yeah, that made a huge difference in my life. And that's what I'm here for, dude. I can care less about the PRs and all the gym stuff. Like, that's cool. That's not going to stay there forever, but mental health is forever. You gotta take care of that stuff, and you gotta have people there for you. So I go by the saying, I'm sure you know him if you listen to country music. Um, there's an artist named Zach Bryan. I've been listening to him for years now, but he just recently blew up. And it says, "Give your heart, but keep your head."
Mm.
You can always give your heart, but in your head, when things are bad and you don't want to deal with it, you got to keep giving your heart, but you can't let down that wall. You can't break down, because other people need you. And that, if you tell someone other people need you, if you need, that keeps me going with my family and my friends and my business. Like, people need me. That's what gets me up in the morning. That's what gets me to do all these things and work that I sometimes don't want to do for some people, but like, people need you. And they're gonna be forever grateful for it. And the last thing I want to do is, when I leave this planet, people go, dang, like, Shane helped me with this, Shane helped me with that. Not, oh, Shane helped me hit 600-pound deadlift. No, Shane got me through the toughest part of my life. He helped me. He was there when no one else was there. He gave me tips when no one else would give me tips. All that stuff, dude. That's like I said, dude. I love people and I want to help them as much as possible. And when I got into figuring out what I wanted to do for a career, I was like, I want to help people. And it was originally like physical therapy. I want to be a physiotherapist, right? And I just didn't have the passion for it in that department. And I realized the impact. One of the hardest parts of my life, I had an impact on people. Um, or sorry, I had one of the hardest parts of my life was when I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do because it was an existential crisis for me. Because I'm like, okay, I need to have a livelihood. I need to pay the bills, but I need to do something that I absolutely love, but still fulfill my goals as a human being, as my personality, which is helping people. So merging personal fitness and coaching and powerlifting coaching with kind of that aspect of my life and what I like to do was like a no-brainer. But it was the scariest thing in my entire life because I just spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on education to be an exercise science major so I can go to physical therapy school, right? But I'm like, you have all the pressure of all the parents, the boomers and stuff that you needed education back then. I mean, you didn't need education back then, but they think that you need it now, but you absolutely do not need it. You absolutely do not need it now. There's so many people out there that have so much experience in doing something that they have value and they can teach somebody something or they can do something for somebody. And just because they don't know how to do it, I could pay someone $200 to change the light bulbs downstairs because I can't reach it because they're taller than me, and I'm lazy and I'm rich or something like that. Like there's so many things you can do. You can buy 10 gumball machines and put them around a mall and then make $100 a day. Like just because no one else has done that. So, but like, and that's just the entrepreneur side of me, but yeah, I had a lot of pressure, coming from a traditional. My mom's Filipino. My dad passed when I was 10. My dad's German, but I grew up in a home like you're either gonna go to school to be a doctor or you're gonna go to school to be an athlete, and then that's what's gonna pay for your school. Because one of the way you're gonna have to pay for it somehow. And there's a lot of pressure on me, and with my fiance now, like coming from a traditional household, my mom, we grew up on the ideals in the Philippines. I'm not from there. I'm from Illinois. I was born in the States, but like if you can't provide for your family, do not have a family because family is everything. And I'm sure you can vouch for that, with the Maori culture there, it's probably the same. And that was huge. That was weighing on my brain. I'm like, do I take the job and make $80,000-$90,000 a year entry level, or do I take the dip right now and then go in and do everything I can to help as many people as possible and let my heart lead this business and then kind of let God take the reign and see what happens? Because when you talk about chasing your dreams and financial instability, a lot of people will just go financial stability than chasing their dreams. That's the normal, and it's shifting right now. A lot of people are going out there and doing things. So one of the hardest parts of my life was figuring out what I was going to do. I was depressed. I was anxiety ridden. I didn't know what to do. I was frozen. But I just took a long, hard look at all the lives that I touched and all the people that I helped. And I'm like, dude, these people count on me. I cannot leave this. Whether I'm making 20, 40, 50, $75,000 a year, I can't leave this because I can make it work. I will make it work. And that's what flipped the switch for me. I was like, I got people counting on me. I can't just leave this. I can't even leave the gym now. Like I have 10 people in the gym that I in-person train, just 10. I have a lot of virtual people, but I could go, and me and my fiance live apart. She's in medical school in Kentucky, so about 4 hours away. And I could leave and I could go live a life with her, but I'm making a sacrifice for our future and everyone else's that I'm in, the lives that I'm in right now. I can't leave these people. Like I see the love that I have for these people and vice versa, and the things that and the positive changes that everyone's made. I can't just up and go. Like that's selfish. My time with my fiance will come around and we'll get married and she'll get, stars are aligning and she's going to come up here for residency and stuff. And, we'll get a house and stuff. And I made a lot of really, really, really hard decisions and with relatively no help, just because I never reached out. But you know, that was huge in my life. That decision, I just followed my heart. And if I have one thing to, like, I tell everybody all the time is, dude, just follow your heart. It's going to tell you where to go. And if you're God willing and you're going to go out and work your ass off, like, you will get paid. You will do what you will make it through. There's going to be tough times. I had a tough time this year. Business has been up and down. We're doing good, but, and that's just entrepreneurship in general. Like, you can't, it's not the same as working at more of a 9 to 5 working for someone else. It's more, you have the stability, right? But like, you have to count on yourself every single day, and you have to know that people depend on you. And that's what keeps me going, dude. That's what keeps me going. The positive feedback from everybody, and vice versa. Um, I'm just not gonna stop. And people ask me like, "Oh, I've seen a lot of people burn out, this and that." I'm like, dude, there's no quit in my heart. There never has been, and there never will be. I cannot. I will not. I've always gone by the mantra too of why not me? How come this guy in this city who goes to Walmart like we do, puts on his pants the same way in the morning? Why can't I do what that guy's doing? And that's everything in my life. The way we do some things is the way we do all things. So I'm gonna get up, and I'm gonna be that person. No one's gonna tell me no. No one's gonna tell me I can't do this, can't do that. I'm gonna go do it. And that's what I've been living by.
It's inspiring, man. And
Well, thank you.
it's a privilege to be able to hear the story and at least witness, a little bit. And I think a lot of people are going to take a lot of things from that. You gotta ultimately you gotta follow your heart. Like one day, I heard the quote of your salary is the lie they tell you to forget your dreams,
Yep.
right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And at the end of the day, nothing in life is guaranteed. Like you might not wake up tomorrow,
Yep.
and if the way you want to live your life is a 9 to 5, getting a salary that you're gonna get, or pretty much 99% guaranteed gonna get, right? Then okay, that's fine. Like as long as you're happy, then fucking A, like do your thing,
Yeah.
man. That sounds great, you know. But it seems like me and you are one of those types of individuals that if we're gonna die, we might as well die trying,
Yep.
And I don't want to take anything to the grave. I want to go there. I want to skid around the corner. I want to lie down on my back thinking, what the fuck was that ride of a life? Like, that was one hell of a journey. I do not want to do that again because I went down every path I wanted to. I tried everything that I wanted to try. I failed more times than I care to admit. And I think that's the point, right? Just try
Yeah.
it. I
Yep.
think trying is the main point rather than, oh, you have to succeed in life and there's certain steps and you've got to accomplish this and then you got to go do that and then you need, this, that, and the other. And I'm like, guys, like there are no rules here. It's all just made up. These rules are just fucking bullshit. It's all made up. You create your own rules, write them down, and live by it, man.
Yep.
Just do your thing. And if
Yep.
people want to say, oh no, Shane, you need to do this, you need to do that, and I was like, cheers, pal. You can have one of these. It's called my middle finger, and I get stuffed. Again, that might be
Yeah.
the Englishman in me, but
Yeah. Yeah.
it's like, well, I'm going to do my thing anyway, because that's just the only way I know how to
Yeah.
live life. I hope you do your thing and vice versa. And just go out and crush it, man.
Yeah. Yeah. And to anyone listening to this podcast, things that take me through this year, I had a lot of highs and lows, a lot more highs than lows, but take it all in. I don't take everything so serious. You know, take everything in as life is, because like all the negative things that you think are ballooned up in your head, there's so many other positive things, and you don't have to live this mundane life of like, oh, I'm just going through, and like, no, like, take it all in. What can you do with your time? What positive things can you take away from everything that you do? Like, why do we choose to sit here and be negative about things we can't change? Why can't we be problem solvers? why can't we take this problem instead of pondering over it and saying like, oh, like, like my car is broken down. Like, no, like I don't have money. I don't have money to pay for the car. Like, no, dude, like find a way to make money. Find the solution to your problem. Sitting there, no one's gonna call you. That call's never coming. You need to get up and you need to go and do it. And you can't just let it beat you down. Would you rather sit there and let it beat you down and then you go into debt and then be like, well, I didn't try anything? Well, like, or would you rather try, make it, and then pay off half of the car payment and be like, well, I tried. Well, look, I'm already halfway there, so I might as well keep going. Like, there's two paths. It's pick your hard. It's both hard. You're gonna have to work hard to fix this car. It's gonna be hard to sit here and then have a fucking broke car. Like, walk to work. Do something. Do something that's applied to every single problem. My fiance is a problem solver, and I wish everyone could think like more. I wish I could think more like hers, because when people have problems, she's not the person where you want to go to for solitude and say like, and comfort. She's not a comfort person. You go to her and she's going to help you solve your problems. And that's what you initially need to do anyway. You can't feel bad for yourself. Everyone needs to be problem solvers. Yeah, it may suck, but like solving that problem is going to be way better than sitting here and sulk in our sorrows. So that's one thing that I've learned from my fiance that has changed my life too. And I love her for it, and she's awesome. So shout out to Chloe. But yeah, dude, take it all in and just be positive. Find a way to be positive. And if it takes you, if you got to crawl, walk, or run, dude, go and do it. It takes a lot of effort to be happy, and people need to realize that.
Brother, thank you so much, man. This has been a beautiful conversation, and
Yeah.
I hope people have gained a little bit of an insight that not all meatheads just talk about whey protein and biceps. Like,
Creatine.
some of us are a little bit emotional creatures, and some of us
Yeah, I'm
actually give a
super
fuck.
emotional, man. I'm super heartfelt.
Me too, bro.
But
Dude, this has been a fucking honor, man. Thank you so much.
yeah, no, thank you so much, and I can't wait to have this podcast out and share it with all my friends.
Thank you,
It was
sir.
a pleasure meeting you.
Talk shit whenever you want, man. Come back whenever you want.
All right, bro.
All right,
You
man.
got my Instagram tag is thedeadliftnutt with 2 T's. I'm not really active on a whole lot of other stuff, but you guys can find me there if you need me. Need someone to talk to, a coach, anything, let me know, all right?
I'll link it. Perfect.
All right, bro. Thank you so
All right,
much.
man. Speak soon. Bye, everybody.